Welcome. All right. Everybody's coming in now. Terrific. All right. Thank you guys for being on time. I appreciate that. All right. So there we go. There's a camera. I was afraid maybe I had a setting wrong. If remember, we always have to start class with cameras on, just so I know, so I get to know you. First of all, if I get to associate a name with the face, it makes it a lot, and yeah, a name with the face makes it a lot easier for me. So thank you all. Welcome, everyone. I see a couple of familiar faces, a couple of new ones. It is great to see all of you today. All right, we will give another minute or two and then we'll jump right in. So I always start class right at this time. If I'm ever late, I'll talk about this a little bit more in future classes, but if I'm ever late, give me 15 minutes. That's the general polite rule of thumb with the teacher, but I'm not usually late. This is my first class of the day, so I won't be late getting to you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. And I'll tell you, we'll give a little bit of information about how the course is going to run, and then we'll jump into some science today. So I have a screen here to share with you. Let me make sure I have the sound turned on. Okay, can everybody see that where it says, welcome to Life Science, the zoology elephant picture? Yes, give me a thumbs up. Good, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is Life Science 1. We've divided life science into two parts. One is zoology, and life science 2, for those of you who are taking it, is botany. That's the study of plants. And then human biology as well is what we'll study in the second half of the year. So this year, this semester, the first half of this year, we're going to focus on animals and animal life. So first of all, make sure if you are new to Canvas, if you haven't done an AIM Academy course, or you haven't used Canvas before, that you watch the tutorial video that I put in the resources page. So you can find it by clicking on the icon that looks like this right here, classroom resources. There will be, this is what it looks like if you click on that. And there will be a how to navigate in Canvas link right there. So a lot of the important things that you need are put there. I'm not going to spend time today going over Canvas because a lot of you are returning AIM Academy students. So if you're new, just make sure that you take a look at this right here, especially before you really get started. Another thing that you'll want to know is some of the pages in Canvas have what's called Immersive Reader. That reads to you. Now, it only shows the text. It doesn't show pictures. So if you use this Immersive Reader, you might want to split your screen so that you have it read to you while you're looking at the picture. So I'll tell you how to do that in just a minute. And most of our reading for this course is in the book, Animal. And the immersive reader obviously is not going to read a book to you. It's only going to read what's on Canvas. So I've got a lot of recordings of me reading to you, of me narrating the book pages. So you can use those narrations if you want to, but you don't have to. If you prefer to read on your own, that's fine too. And make sure that you know that quizzes do not have that immersive reader. All right, like I said at the very beginning, make sure that you use your webcam at least at the very beginning of class. If there's a reason that you can't, have one of your parents write to me and tell me what the reason is. You guys are all good. You've all got your cameras on now, which is awesome. It's really better if we all get to know each other by looking at each other on the screen. So another reason that it's important that you use your webcam is there might come a time, in fact, I got one today. I got a letter from a student who asked me if I would write a reference for a class that she wants to take. She needs a teacher reference. This is a student from last year. Now, this student left her camera on, and I knew her. She talked in class. I got to know her. It's really easy for me to write that recommendation. But if you never turn your camera on and you really don't participate much at all, I don't know you very well. And it would be hard for me to write a good reference for you. So that's all the reason that it's important to use your webcam. All right, so we are going to take just a minute to introduce ourselves to each other. And I want you to make sure that you say your name very clearly. so that we all learn how to pronounce names. I don't want to make the assumption that I know how to pronounce anybody's name, or that, that I'm pronouncing it correctly. And I thought it might be fun to play kind of a game while we do that. So we're going to play this game called If I Were as we do that. So I will tell you, I'll type your name into the box. I'm not even going to say them. So I'll start here with, we're going to go in alphabetical order. So Aaliyah, you're going to be first because you're AA right at the beginning of the alphabet. So I will drag, and I know Aaliyah's name because I had her last year. So let's see, let's drag this in. And here is our If I Were. So let's spin this. And Aaliyah, tell us your name. You don't have to do your whole name, just your first name. And then, if I were a superhero, what superhero would you be? And one sentence saying why. Just one sentence, not a big long thing. So go ahead.
My name is Aaliyah. And if I were a superhero, like what type of superhero?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't
Like,
know.
I'll give you my example. My answer to that would be, I would be a superhero who could fly, because I would love to be able to fly. So
I guess me too. I would like to fly. I just want to see how it looks from how the world looks from up, like up in the
yes.
sky.
Awesome. Great answer. Great answer. All right, everybody say hi to Aaliyah. Welcome. All right, our next student then is going to be, all right, there you go. I just sent you a message. It says your turn. I think I know how to pronounce your name, but I'm not going to assume it. So here we go. All right. Here's your question. If I were a season, I would be. You're muted.
Sorry.
No problem. It happens all the time. To me too.
What do I do?
Tell me your name, the way we pronounce your name, and if you were a season, which season would you be and why?
My name is Beth, and I would, I think fall. I'd be fall.
Do you want to tell us why?
I don't know, I like fall colors, and I just like the weather in fall.
All right, I would agree. Fall is my favorite season too. All right, great, thank you. So next we have Daniel, and I've had Daniel before too, so I know, there we go. All right, so here is your spin, Daniel. All right, Daniel, if you were a food, what food would you be?
Hello, my name is Daniel, and if I were food, I would be a rotten apple so no one would eat me.
That's an awesome answer. I love that. Excellent. All right, great job. All right, next we have our other Daniel. There we go. And Daniel Solano, let's see here. Yours is a superhero. So Daniel, if you were a superhero, which one would you be?
Hello, my name is Daniel, and I'll probably I'm being really fast.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to hear you, Daniel. Can you say that again?
Probably being really fast.
Really fast? That's great. Awesome. All right. So next we have and here is your question. Oh, another superhero one. Oh, you're muted. Try again. No, we're not hearing you. There might be a problem with your microphone. You might want to check that before class next week. Is it, let me give it a try. Is it Deja? All right, score one. All right, Deja, you can type your answer in if you'd like. If you were a superhero, which one would you be? Or what kind of power would you have? All right, invisibility. Oh, that's an excellent one. So Deja, you sent that just to me. So just for all of you guys, when you are typing something in the chat box, you have to click and send it to where it says everyone in meeting. All right, in order for it to go to everybody. Sometimes you want to just write to your teacher, and that's fine too. But Deja said invisibility, and that would be kind of fun. All right, so next we have, there we go. And let's see what yours is. I hope it's not superhero again. That's getting, there we go. There's a new one. If I were an animal, I would be. Where is Felicity? Did we lose Felicity? Oh, there you are. It's your turn, Felicity.
My name is Felicity, and if I were an animal, I would be some kind of feline.
Ooh, what, like a big one or a small one?
I'm not sure. There's
All
so
right.
many wonderful cats.
So we have a cat lover. Excellent, excellent. All right, and we have two more. Again, I'm going in alphabetical order here. And here is your question, Hannah. If I were a type of weather, what type of weather would you be?
Is it my turn?
Yes.
I would be maybe sunshine.
Aw, that's a great one. And it's Hannah. Is that the correct pronunciation there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, Hannah would be sunshine. I like that answer. All right, and then finally here we have the last one on our list. And let's see what your question is. Another type of weather.
Hi, my name is Hiba, and if I were a type of weather, I'd probably be like kind of windy, but like 70 degrees.
Oh, so you have a moderate side to you, but you can gust if you need to. I love that. Can you tell me again how you yeah, James, I'm sorry. There are a couple more. I thought we were at the bottom, but I saw more on the list. So there's three more of you. Can you tell me how to pronounce your name again? Is it Hiba?
It's a Hiba.
Hiba. Okay. All right. Let me write that down. So always correct me, guys, if I get your names wrong. It's important to me to pronounce your names correctly. And next we have James. All right, James, here is your question. Oh, another superhero, James.
My name is James. I'd either have the power to control atoms or teleportation.
Oh, well, if you could control atoms, you probably could teleport everywhere, right? That's a good skill, a good superhero skill. All right. And our next student. Oh, this must be weighted more heavily. Can you have a weighted wheel when you're online? I don't know about that one. All right, go ahead.
My name is Kian. If I were a superhero, I would choose to have literally any power except flying.
Anything except flying. Now I'm curious, Kian, why wouldn't you want to fly?
Because I'm scared of heights.
Well, that's a very good reason. That is a very good reason. All right, and last but not least, it's surprising that M is the last in our alphabet. A lot of letters after M, aren't there? All right. Oh, if I were a color.
Hi, my name is Muhammad. If I were a color, I would be white or green.
White or green. Oh, would you be like a light green, like a blend of the two, or?
Probably a blend of the two.
Yeah, yeah. So green is a calm color. Are you a calm person, Muhammad?
Yeah.
Ah, that's a good one. If you chose like fire engine red or, you know, bright orange, we would ask a different question. All right, that's terrific. So welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Joseph. Most people shorten that to Dr. J. Whatever you want to call me is fine. Just don't call me late for dinner, right? So excellent, excellent. All right, let's go over a couple of important things that we need to remember, that you need to know in order to move through our course successfully. So first of all, the assignments are in a line. When you get to the top of that assignments page, always work your way down. Don't skip, because sometimes these assignments build on each other. And if you skip around, you won't have the information you need to be able to answer the questions that are there. Use good spelling and grammar in your assignments. We will talk more about that later. For now, I'm not taking off points for spelling and grammar and punctuation errors. I won't for the next couple weeks. I'll just tell you. I'll remind you the important things to do. But we will get to the point where I'll take off just a little bit of points. But do your best. Always double check. Use spell check if you can. When you're taking the quizzes, make sure to click the button that says Submit Quiz. If you take this whole quiz and you don't click that button at the end, you lose your work. So make sure you do that. And please always contact me if you have questions or concerns. And please contact me before you submit the assignment. Once that assignment is submitted, you get the correct answers. And at that point, I can help you, but I can't change your grade. So write to me before you submit your assignments, and I'll be happy to help you as well as I can. All right. If you have any questions as we're going through this stuff today, please let me know. You don't have to wait till the end. So there's a thing now that we're having to deal with called AI, artificial intelligence. So most of you guys are probably familiar with ChatGPT. Has anybody not heard of ChatGPT? Yeah. Has anybody not heard of AI, artificial intelligence? Yeah, ChatGPT is just a kind of artificial intelligence. It's one of the programs that's out there. Now, you have to be over the age of 13 in order to use it. If you're under 13, you can't use it at all, even with parental permission. That's their rule, not ours. If you're between 13 and 18, you can only use it with your parents' permission. Now, ChatGPT and all the AI programs are pretty new. They've only really been around for about 1.5 years. And what this is like, think if you have an expert in every subject sitting right beside you. That expert can help you with everything, any question that you might ask. Now, you can use that expert for good to help you learn, but you can't use that expert to help you cheat, right? So we want to use AI in a way that helps you, not a way that ultimately hurts you. So one of the reasons that we want to do that is because you guys are all old enough now that you know what integrity is. You know what it means for your word to be a useful thing. And I want you to use that academic integrity. I want you to learn to be honest about your work. So I want you to learn how to think on your own. If you use ChatGPT or any AI to help you find your answers, that doesn't really help you in the long run because you don't really learn anything. And I always say when you have to be somewhere, you might as well make your time count, right? You have to be here. You have to be in class. You might as well learn something. Your goal should be to learn, not just to get good grades or not just to finish a lesson. So let's think about it this way. Suppose that tonight, in the night, you start having a bad stomach ache. And oh, your mom rushes you to the emergency room and they say, yeah, his appendix broke. Her appendix ruptured. You have to have it removed. Do you want your surgeon to be somebody who got through medical school using AI? Or do you want it to be somebody who actually learned how to do the surgery, right? What about the next time you fly on a plane? Do you want your pilot to be somebody who learned how to fly a plane using AI? Or somebody who learned on their own, right? So it really all comes down to this. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? Do I want to be somebody who is honest and does my work and can be known as being dependable? You are, a lot of times people say, oh, I have to find myself. I have to discover who I am. I don't like to look at it that way. You're making yourself who you are. You are becoming who you want to be with every decision that you make. So make good decisions with regard to this and really everything else. Now, all that said, I had a couple problems with AI last year with students. I have the right as the teacher to call for an oral exam if I suspect that a student is not doing their own work, if they're cheating. That may be what I do. I may say, okay, you've got to have, we'll meet and we'll have an exam where I ask you the questions and you have to answer to me. I only had to do that once. It's not very common. Most students, I think, are pretty honest with what they are. Now, we at AIM Academy purchased a new tool this year that helps you to detect plagiarism, to detect the use of AI. And I'll talk to you more about it in future weeks, it's called plagiarism check. So plagiarism is what it means when you take somebody else's work and pass it off as your own. And students don't always know that that's not okay to do. A lot of them think that it's okay to copy and paste from a website. It's not though. So my goal is to help you learn the right way to use the internet to give you information without plagiarizing. And that includes copying from websites as well as using AI. So this new program, this plagiarism check that we have, is embedded right in Canvas, and it lets you check your own work. Right after you submit it, you're given a report from Plagiarism Check that'll tell you 60% of your paper that you wrote, or your article that you wrote, or your answer is taken from the internet. And you can say, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and then you can resubmit it. So you're going to be given this year 2 attempts for any written work, any written assignments. Those answers that you get back that says this is mostly plagiarized, you have a chance to redo it again. So that gives you an opportunity to correct things before you submit it to me for grading. I'll only grade the second attempt that you have, unless you don't do a second attempt. All right, we will talk more about this. I know this is all really brand new, so we'll talk more about it as the year goes on. Another really important thing, if you share a computer with anyone else, your parents, any siblings, make sure that you log out at the end of each of your sessions, because you don't want users accidentally logging into each other's account. So let's say that your parent is looking at your work on their account. If you then sit down and try to use their account, you won't see a submit button, because parents can't submit assignments. So if you ever don't see a submit button, it's probably because you're logged into your parent account. Just log out, log back in to your own account. And this is a really important thing. I really need you guys to help me to make the course the best that I can. If you see any errors, if you see any typos, if something doesn't make sense, or you think that it could be written a better way to make it make more sense, please let me know. All right. Now we have 2 sections for this class, because we want to keep our class sizes at AIM Academy small enough to be really useful. So the only difference between the 2 sections is the day of the live class. Our live classes will be identical. The people who come tomorrow will get the same exact lesson that you're getting today. The live classes, for these live classes, it's best if you can stay to the Monday section, because then you get to know each other better. But if you ever can't come on Monday, feel free to come on Tuesday. It's fine with me if you go back and forth with those as needed. All right. Extra credit for assignments turned in by the due date. So I'll talk in a minute about how I have very flexible due dates in my classes. I will accept your work late and I won't take off any points for it. I have those due dates there to help to guide you. And to encourage you, I give extra credit for anything that's turned in by the due date. So what I do is at the end of each quarter, I go back and I see how many assignments you turned in by the due date. And I give you 1/4 of an extra credit point for each of those assignments. Now that can add up to a lot of points over the course of a semester. There's other reasons too that you want to make sure that you turn things in by the due date. A big reason is because our live classes really do have a lot to do with what you're learning in your daily lesson. I do take roll in these live classes, and you will get a participation grade at the end of the semester. You get a couple points for just showing up. You get a couple points for actually communicating, for talking. Now, if you have to either enter late or leave early, do so quietly. You'll still be counted as present if you're here, even if you have to come late or leave early. But don't disrupt class by saying, sorry, I'm late, or I've got to go. Just leave. Just come when you're here and leave when you need to. All right. So we use this program called Kahoot from time to time. I think it's a great way to review and have fun at the same time. So in order to play Kahoot, you have to have a cell phone or a tablet, or be able to split your screen on your computer. So I'm going to show you now how you split a screen. So let's go into our class and I'll show you that. Okay, so to split a screen, this is what our class looks like. This is our homepage. See this little square right up here? If you click on that, it makes the screen small. And then you can, with your arrows, drag it to the right size that you want it to be. So you're going to make it small like this. And then you can click the plus sign up here and open another window. And then you just drag that over. Now you've got two screens side by side. So when we're using Kahoot, you either need to have a phone or be able to split your screen like this in order to be able to play. So I want to try Kahoot right now to see how it works. You guys, when you're using Kahoot, you can either put in your real name or you can put in a nickname, whatever you prefer. These Kahoots in our live classes are not for a test. They're not for points. They're just for fun. And remember, when you're answering, the speed that you answer counts. The first person to give the answer gets more points than the last person to answer. So I have a very short, let me close these, a very short, just 7-question Kahoot for you guys to give, just to give this a try. Here we go. All right, this is called Lab Science Safety. All right. And so you go to www.kahoot.it. Right here, www.kahoot.it. Or if you have a lot of classes that use Kahoot, you can download the app on your phone or your tablet. Then once you go to www.kahoot.it, you type in this game pin, 3919365. So James is in already. I usually give you a heads up if we're definitely going to be doing a Kahoot, but I often have Kahoots for the end of class in case there's extra time. So if we end up with any extra time, then we will sometimes do one of these games. All right, we have 4 people in. 7 more to go. 5. Almost half. All right, remember, you type into your box up here, www.kahoot.it, and then it will open up a field where you can put your game pin in, 3919365, and I can type that in the chat box, if that would be helpful. All right, let me type that in. I know some teachers give this every time. 3919365. There we go. 3919365. Okay. All right. So if you're not in yet, you can always join. This game pin will always be on the screen. So you can join if you either get kicked out or you come in late. So let's go ahead and start this so that you can see how it goes. Introduction to lab safety. One of the very first lessons is about being safe in a lab. And when you're working at home, your home is your lab. So you need to follow all the same rules. True or false? It is helpful, but not necessary to follow lab safety rules. True or false? That is false. False. It is always important to follow lab safety rules. Now, 7 people answered correctly, but somebody's going to have the highest score. That would be the person who answered first. So you want to answer as quickly as you can. So Aaliyah got there first, followed by James and Muhammad. All right, so that's how that scoring works. And look how close that is. You guys were very close to one another. All right, here comes our next question. Oh, this one is worth double points. Which of the following should not be disposed of in the sink? Lemon juice, colored water, sand, or baking soda dissolved in water? Sand. Yeah, excellent. Sand. That would clog your sink up real quick. All right, James moves into the lead. Question 3. Multi-select. That means you pick more than one answer. What does the girl in the picture need to do to comply with lab safety rules? She needs to tie her hair back and take off her scarf. We don't want to have anything loose that's hanging over. So her hair should be tied back, her scarf should come off, and good. Most of you guys knew both of those. Remember, you needed to answer both in order to get it. So Kian moves into the lead and Cookie takes second place. I wonder who Cookie is. Fun. All right. True or false? If you spill something during a lab, wait until the end of the experiment to clean it up. True or false? That's false, right? You want to clean up right away. All right. There we go. No change. Now this is a puzzle. You drag these to put them in the right order. Unscramble the words to form a sentence. Always wear safety glasses. Excellent. So I'm showing you some of the different ways the questions can be asked. This one is drop a pin. Put a pin in the category you know the most about. So we have here invertebrates. These are like bugs, vertebrates, fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Kind of a small picture there, I know. No points for this one. This is just a pin. All right. Oh, everybody put mammals. Isn't that interesting? We're going to learn that mammals are, one of the least, we have the fewest amount of mammals of any of these categories, but we know the most about them, right? All right. So here is our last question. And again, a pin. Put a pin in the category you really want to learn about. So let's just stick with these bottom ones here. Fish, amphibian, reptile, birds, or mammals. All right. Oh, a little bit of a mixture there. So nobody wants to learn about fish? Oh, you'll meet a fish called Ajax when we study about fish. And I think Ajax will change your mind. All right, let's see here now. Here's our podium. So at the end, it gives you first, second, and third place. Third place, James. Second place, Cookie. And in first place, who is it? All right, Kian, excellent, excellent. All right, so you guys get an idea of how this works. We will play Kahoot from time to time during our course. All right, now let's see what else we have. Okay, so I like to start my live classes with jokes and riddles. I don't promise that my jokes and riddles are any good. They might be silly, but I do like to start them with just a little, to give you a little chuckle at the beginning. Not very many. All right, here's the first one. Why did the koala get the job? Why did the koala get the job? You can answer, you can type, you can talk. I prefer when people type. Oh, Mohammed, you know the answer to this one?
I think because he was cool.
He is cool, yeah. But I think, yeah, James has it here. He has the right qualifications. Yep, qualifications. There you go. Excellent. So why was the elephant jealous when the koala got the job? Why was the elephant jealous? Because he thought the koala's qualifications were irrelevant. All right, here's another one. Why should you not trust a when should you not trust a carnivore? When he's lying. When he's lying. All right. Whoop. All right. The bear said, this arguing is becoming unbearable. The horse replied, indeed, it's making my voice hoarse. And the giraffe called out, I'm out of here. You all are giraffing me crazy. All right. To this end, if you guys have any good zoology jokes, send them my way. They might find their way into one of our live classes. All right. So what are we going to be studying this year? What do you guys think? What do you think when you hear the word zoology? What do you think we're going to be talking about? Animals? Yep, for sure. We're going to be talking about animals. Daniel. Animals and how they work. Yep. So we are going to be talking about animals. We'll talk about some general information about animals first, how they work basically first, and then we'll get into talking about the different animal groups. Now, when we have a life cycle, yeah, that's a good one. We will definitely talk about different animals' life cycles because different kinds of animals have different life cycles. Obviously, the way you go from the point where you're a baby until you die is very different than a moth or a butterfly or a caterpillar, right? There's different life cycles. So we can divide all animals up into two main categories. We can divide them up into what's called vertebrates and invertebrates. So what do those words mean? What's the difference between a vertebrate and an invertebrate? If you guys can speak, I prefer that because it's faster than waiting for you to type answers in. Mohammed.
Vertebrates have a backbone, invertebrates don't have a backbone.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. It really is as simple as that. All right. Now, let me see here. See how much time we have. Okay, so we know because of the pin that we dropped in that Kahoot that we were doing, you guys know a lot more about vertebrates than you do about invertebrates. But we're going to learn that there's way more invertebrates on our planet than there are vertebrates. There are way more animals that don't have a backbone than there are ones that do have a backbone. And it's kind of fun to learn about the ones that we don't know so much about. All right. It is time for pet show and tell. So we don't have a lot of time for you guys to go into detail, but if anybody brought a pet or they want to just talk about their pet, now would be the time to hold your pet up. Or you can tell us if you have an unusual pet. Oh, look at that. Oh, Hannah, that looks a little bit like my dog. My dog is a Catan de Tuliar.
This is Zazie.
Oh, hey, Zazie. Very cute.
She's
Oh, I gotta pick mine up and show you because she looks very similar. Let me grab her here. Yeah, you want to say hi to the students? Yeah. Where's my girl? She lays on her little bed beside me while I'm teaching. Here we go. This is Maya. Oh, Bethany, look. Oh, Keon, that's so cute. He's sleeping there. Who else have we got? Anybody else have a little one they want to? Oh, Felicity has a cat. Awesome. All right. So it's really fun as you're learning about the different animals. Think about the ways that your pet is similar and different from some of the animals that we will learn about. All right. Mine wants to go back to bed, so I'm going to put her down. You can go lay down. Excellent. All right. Let's talk a little bit about animals. So think about your animal. Whatever your pet is or your favorite animal, when I ask this question, do animals solve problems? Daniel.
Yes, they do.
How? Give me an example of how, say, a pet might solve a problem.
If it's like hungry, it might start whining at you and trying to get your attention.
Yeah. So the problem would be I'm hungry. And then the way that they would try to solve that problem is by trying to whine and let you know, I'm here. Did you forget about me? It's dinner time, right? They have ways to let you know. So let's think about an animal that in the wild, something that's out in its natural environment. How might an animal out in nature use problem-solving skills? Because they can't just whine and have somebody bring them their dinner like my dog can. They help hunt. Hold on a second here. Oh, they help humans with stress. Well, that's for sure. Yeah, animals are great at doing, at calming us down. It's one of the reasons people get them. Mohammed.
They can use tools to do what they want to do.
Yeah, can you give me an example of a tool use in an animal?
Sticks.
Yeah, we've all seen the picture probably of the monkeys who put a stick down into a log and pull it out and then eat the insects that cling to that stick. Wolves work together to hunt. Yeah, they sure do. Bethany.
Some birds put like their acorns in the road so cars will drive over them and crack them open.
Isn't that interesting how they have adapted to humans driving cars, right? They learn to be able to do that. Yeah. So think about the way that using tools reflects their ability to problem solve, right? Their instinct, sure, they use a lot of instinct, but they also learn. Animals have a way of learning. So animals can be creative in the way that they behave, in the way that they solve problems, like using the tool. They can also be instinctive in the way that they go toward a bush that's full of berries instead of a bush that doesn't have any berries. That's kind of an instinctive thing. So we'll learn a lot about animal behavior and animal problem solving. What about this one? Do animals communicate? Do you think they communicate? Anybody who has a pet knows the answer to that is yes. Even a fish will swim up to the edge of the tank and tell you, I'm here, I'm hungry, I want some food. Yeah. So think about how animals communicate with other animals of their species. If you have a cat, how does your cat communicate with another cat? If you have a dog, how does your dog communicate? We already talked about wolves. Wolves communicate with one another when they're hunting. So give me an example of an animal that communicates with other animals in their species. Mohammed.
Some deers communicate using their tails.
Yeah, yep. The tails mean something. Dolphins. James, give me an example of how dolphins communicate.
I think they communicate using like squeaks and shrieks underwater.
Yeah, they do. They do. Hiba says hermit crabs communicate through squeaks. Yeah, they do. Now think about what they use that communication to be able to do. Felicity.
Cats can communicate to each other by purring, and
Yes,
basically means they're not a threat.
that's right. That's right. Kian.
My dog communicates to other dogs by barking at them to get off the lawn. Our lawn.
You're in my yard, go away. Yep. So they communicate things like danger. They communicate, this is my territory. This boundary, you can't come inside this boundary. Now, let's think about how they communicate with other species. So let's step away from pets now and think about animals out in the wild. How does an animal out in the wild communicate with people? What's an example of a wild animal? Bethany.
Sorry. In my yard we have a groundhog and bunnies, and they like when there's a hawk or something, they squeak at each other to
Yeah.
make sure that everyone gets out of the way.
Yeah, excellent. James says rattlesnakes rattling to warn people. Yeah, that's a good one. Mohammed.
It's like it could be like animals telling humans to get out of their territory
Yeah.
by like
Yep.
hissing and making weird noises.
Yeah, like if you get too close to a bird's nest, the birds will stand in the tree and yell at you to go away. You're getting too close. Right. So think about all the things that we can learn from the way animals communicate with one another in their same species, and then also outside with other species. Think about ants and bees and wolves and dolphins. Think about the way that they divide up jobs that they have to do and how we can learn from them by learning about them. I think it's pretty cool. What about this one? Do you guys think animals feel emotions? Do they have experiences like joy and fear and grief? What do you think? Daniel?
Yes, they do. Like when wolves will put their tail between their legs, it means they're scared.
Yep.
When their tail's wagging and they're like barking, it may mean they're happy.
Yep, exactly. Hiba?
Like how cats, whenever they get angry, they'll arch their backs and like their tail is pointed down.
Yep. That hair stands right up on their back, doesn't it? Mohammed.
Probably like a dog or a cat, and like
Yep.
sitting in a way and limping, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know the word. I
Yeah.
think
No,
it's
that's good. That's good. So yeah, you guys are giving good evidence for why animals do feel emotions. Anybody have a dog or a cat or other kind of pet that gets really scared when there's fireworks or thunder? That's clearly fear. They're afraid when that's happening. And they certainly get excited when you come home. There's joy when you see a mother animal out in the wild playing with her young. There's very definitely happiness and joy in that experience. So how do you guys think that the way animals feel emotion is different from the way we feel emotion? Or is it? You think it's the same? That's a tough one, isn't it? I think maybe we have a wider range of emotion. Daniel.
I think it's the same. We can just like talk so we can express it more.
Yeah. Yep. We can express it more. Think about things like memory. A lot of your emotions are related to memory. Animals have different memories than people do. Now you'll hear things like that animals kind of live in the moment, and to a large degree that's true. If your dog gets upset because you're leaving, as soon as you come back home, it's all forgiven. It's fine that you left. But they do have a bit of a memory. So can you think of a way that out in the wild, memory might help animals? Mohammed.
Remember like which type of predator loves
Yeah.
to eat them.
Yeah. Yeah, they know which ones to run from. Felicity.
Like if an animal likes berries, they remember which ones are toxic and which ones are safe to eat.
Yep, that's very good. They can remember what smells are dangerous for sure. Yep. Even things like migration, they have to remember how to migrate. Now they do use things like stars and other landmarks and water and weather patterns, but they need to have a bit of memory for those kind of things to happen. Now, when we talk about interaction with other species, there's a lot of different ways. And we'll learn that there are some ways. Oh, Daniel says they will stay away from thorns after getting hurt. Yeah, I know I do. If I prick myself on a rose bush, it's going to be a while before I stick my hand into that rose bush again. I remember to stay away from them. Right. So certain animals can interact with other species in different ways. And we'll learn that. We'll learn in this class that there are ways that they work together. They cooperate with one another. There are ways that they compete with one another for the needed things that they have. So we'll learn about the different kinds of interaction. That's called symbiosis. And we will talk about a good bit about symbiosis as we are moving through the course. And then humans and animals interact with each other all the time. So we've talked a little bit about how animals and humans interact in the form of pets. Anybody have any other examples? How pets and humans interact with each other? How does what we do affect them? How does what they do affect us? Hiba.
Sometimes like when you leave the house and you have a dog, your dog will get like sad when you leave, and then when you come back, it'll get happy again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anybody else? Anybody have a pet that's not a dog or a cat? Beth, what do you have?
I have chickens.
Chickens, that's fun. And they're pet chickens, you get eggs from them?
Yes.
Very cool. Anybody else? Hiba.
I had hermit crabs, frogs.
Hermit crabs are fun. Frogs are fun too. Yep. James, you're right. We do have to pick up the dog stuff. We have to clean up after our pets, don't we? Yeah. Pets don't tend to, animals don't tend to clean up after themselves. Out in the wild, it's not a big deal, but when they're home, then that definitely is a big deal. All right, let's talk about wild animals then. How does human activity impact wild animals, for good or for bad? Mohammed.
Like some species, like I don't know if it's I think wolves or foxes. They live near humans, so that I think the coyotes, they don't go near them because they're afraid of human civilization.
Yeah, yeah, good, good. They like to live where people are. They get a lot from us. Daniel.
If we cut down trees, some of the animals that live in trees will be affected because they won't have homes anymore.
That's true. That is true. Felicity.
Like when we pollute oceans, it's terrible for the environment.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the human impacts, the things that we need to do and stop doing as we go through our course to help out animals. Hiba.
Like with the climate crisis and everything, it'll affect like some animals.
Yep.
And they're gonna become endangered and like.
Yeah. Hannah.
When sometimes pigeons, like they live in like rocky habitats, so like they can just move over to like human buildings since they're also like really high and sloped. So
Yep.
they can just move to human.
That's
places.
true. Pigeons are a really great example of an animal that has adapted to humans being around, probably better than most other kinds of vertebrates. They make use of the fact that people build tall buildings. Yeah, that's an excellent example. All right, great, great. So we're going to talk about all these things this year. We're going to talk about some information about individual animal species, and then we're going to study all kinds of animal behavior. So as we go through the course, we'll have different answers for these kind of things. All right, so let me see here. I have a couple animal facts for you guys today. So this is called a Bactrian camel. It's also called a two-humped camel. Camels can drink up to 50 liters at a time. That's like drinking 25 giant soda bottles. And they love water so much, they will even drink salty water. And that's pretty unusual. Most animals don't drink. Even dolphins don't drink the ocean water that they swim in. They get their water from their fish or from their food. But camels will drink salty water. Hannah.
I just forgot to bring my hand down.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. All right, here's another fun animal fact. You guys know what color a polar bear's hair is? Mohammed.
I guess if the hair does not really have a color, it just reflects off.
That's true. That's true. It looks white, but it is not actually white. It's colorless. It's clear. It's very thick and hollow, so it reflects back light, and that's what makes it appear white. Polar bears actually have black skin underneath their thick coat of fur, and that black skin absorbs the rays of the sun, and that helps them in the chilly Arctic that they have to live in. Here's a fun video for you. This is a chameleon. A chameleon's tongue is as long as its body. This is super slow motion. It is as long as its body, but it can grab prey in a fraction of a second. Now here's another one for you. Which big cat has the loudest sound? It is actually a lion. Lions' roars are the loudest of any of the big cats. So they can get to be as loud as a chainsaw, and they can be heard up to 5 miles away. Now, the reason for that is right here in your throat, you have what's called a voice box. It's called a larynx. Well, lions have a square, flat voice box. The other big cats have triangular voice boxes. So lions, because of their square flat voice box, they can make a louder sound with less effort. All right, I'm going to end today. I'm going to try to end most of our classes with either a fun animal fact or a fun animal video. Here's a fun animal video I thought you guys might enjoy. This is a lion watching the guy playing the drum. Watch. I'm not a lion, an elephant. Elephant can play the drums. Pretty fun. Yeah, animals learn quickly. They learn in a bunch of different ways. It's pretty fun to be sharing the planet with all of our animals. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your participation. It was a great first class. If you have any questions at all, send them my way. I love hearing from you. I'll do my best to keep up with the grading. You guys are turning in a lot of work, so well done with that. And I will see you same time next week. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.